Hello, how are you? Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Lee Johnson. Just kind of doing an update report on the coronavirus here. Here, a few minutes, once more people start joining in, I'm going to go over a couple of the numbers that we're seeing down here in the basement hour here. I'll also be going over a new mask that I came across and kind of going through it with everybody. So just stick with us and we'll go over it. Is everybody having a good night tonight? Volume working good? Trying to do this for my phone this time instead of my laptop. So let's see how the video quality works. Am I cutting in and out? Welcome, Thomas Matinga. How is everybody? Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here in a little bit. Kind of talk about some of the numbers that's come across on the news for the coronavirus. I know I've been going over that a lot on the community group. It's one of the more recent emergencies across the world, so we want to really target that while it's in front of our face. And as we go into it more, we can kind of just practice as we go, see what type of preparedness we can do as communities and help one another out. Knowledge base is crucial in times of emergencies. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and etc. is the only way. Sorry, my phone's going. Hello, hello, everybody. Well, I've been using a Worldometer to kind of track some of this data that's coming through. That's worldometer.com. The coronavirus case is currently sitting at 31,481. The critical condition is 4,824, which roughly is about 14% of all the cases. Death totals are at 638. Recovered people is at 1,563. There's 12 cases in America, 7 cases in Canada. I cannot find any data on any cases in Mexico, which is kind of interesting to me, or they're just not reporting it. So in North America right now, we totally have a total of 19 cases, 19 people. If you look at the transmission rate, those 19 people times, the transmission of 3 to 1, one person can send it or transmit it to 3 to 4 people. Real quick, those numbers can add up. Hello, how are you today? The incubation period they've updated. Now it's showing as 2 to 14 days for the incubation. So you're not right off day 1 of contracting it, spreading it. It's literally day 2 now. So that's kind of knowledge to help if you come in contact, knowledge to help you kind of, base what's going on around. Sorry guys, I'm really just running off the top of my head here on some of these numbers. I did look them up. I do have a little bit of a program here to run off from, but kind of run by myself right now. So gotta stay hydrated. One of the things I wanted to just kind of show you guys was this new mask I picked up. I went down to Lowe's. Most of the masks at Lowe's were sold out. which is kind of interesting to me. Home Depot is about the same way. I did come across this RZ mask, they're called, and it is a filtration mask. Now it's the Model 2 M2, which is a mesh material, lightweight, but inside the mesh there is a filter. And inside the filter, it filters up to 99.9% of particles and pollution dust. So it also has a carbon filter with it. So it's does do particles down to 0.1 micro or micron or greater. So I think, as long as you're not in having somebody breathe right in the face, it kind of will help protect. But like I said, if this thing would get more out of control in America, getting masks down at the store is going to be impossible to find. People are already hoarding materials, and it hasn't even barely started here in North America. China says today that they've got it under control. We'll see. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to see a lot of change in this whole atmosphere as far as the corona is concerned. But here's what this new mask going to look like. It's got 2 breathe holes in there. On the inside, it's got the filter. And what happens is once these valves open up, it breathes into that filter. So we're just going to try one on here. And there's this little Velcro protector here that you got to take off. And up on the nose guard, they got this nice metal band that you'll bend around your nose. And these things are supposed to be top of the line as far as like dust and pollution masks. So it fits, it fits really nice and snug. I wouldn't be too concerned because I got a beard here, is letting anything through. It's really nice and snug around the whole side of the face. The top side is push this in, my nose will be cleared. As far as breathing in, if I take deep breaths, these valves do open up a little bit, and it kind of makes it where it's easier to breathe. Now they don't recommend a total use on these things. Continuous hours is 30 hours. So I could wear this thing for 30 hours on this simple filter and then replace the filter. So these are reusable for a short period of time, but I wouldn't go too deep into it. Now on the back of the box here, they do have a nice diagram of the filter and the durable mesh. And the RZ masks do have different styles. I mean, you can get down to being customized with flames if you want. I mean, I got my wife one too. It comes in black. This one came in green. They had them on sale down at the Lowe's. So, but I feel kind of like when you take a deep breath in, it is kind of hard to breathe a little bit. So I don't think I would be wanting to try to run a marathon in this thing at all, but it'll at least help protect you while you're out in public. The other thing is, I start carrying the hand sanitizer. I'm really going to push that idea. Just having it in the truck, having it out and about is a really, really grand idea. There's a couple of procedures that it's smart to kind of lifestyle to kind of start to build. One would be, taking your shoes off at the front entryway of your house. In a pandemic situation, you don't want to track whatever you've had to go out to do. You don't want to track that inside your house. So take your boots off, your shoes off before you enter. The other couple things is learning how to take things off without, contaminating the rest of your body with it. So, when you're taking your gloves off, kind of, if you ever seen medical do it, they kind of pull it from the inside out so their skin's never touching the outside of the glove. So, I mean, that's something you got to consider. Going out in public, if a pandemic would strike here in America, you want to limit how many times you have to go out. And if you have a family, you don't want to bring your whole family out with you. So one person is, say, if it's you and your partner and a kid or a couple kids, have one of you guys go out for supplies. If you have to go out once a week, once every 2 to 3 days, just one person go out. That will help limit how much traffic that you have coming in and out of your house, as far as if it's a virus per se or if it's anything else. You just want to limit how much you're going in and out. So, and everybody hear me good by chance? Kind of trying this off my phone. I really don't know how well it's working. The mask, can you hear through the mask? It sounds kind of loud on my end. Thumbs up? No, no. Yes, yes. So these masks are not uncomfortable by any means. I've got a couple stored N95s, but these valves come apart, and then you'll be able to change out these masks pretty easily. So any questions? So I got this deal with this combo here. You get 6 filters with the mask, plus 2 that come with the mask itself. So it was a pretty good deal. I would not want to continuously, if it was like a pandemic, I wouldn't want to continuously use the same material over and over. I definitely want to kind of dispose of things. The other thing I would consider, if you have a mudroom on your house, in a pandemic situation, I would try to make that mudroom or a Florida room, whatever one you want to say you got, into like a decontamination area. That way, so when you walked in that mudroom, you can strip down, get rid of any clothes that you had that was contaminated from you having to go out in public, and having a different set of clothes set up in a plastic bag, so that you can put one set in a bag, close it up, get your fresh clothes on, take those clothes that you just went out and put them in the wash and get them sanitized. In a pandemic situation where these people were out there in China, in Wuhan, some of it could have been kind of helped to be prevented if they would have took some of the proper steps as far as the spreading is concerned. Well, welcome, Dan Mott. Sorry to hear your laptop's not working. Basically, just a quick overview is, I got this new mask. It's an RZ mask for the guys that just showed up and ladies that showed up. This mask, I went down to Home Depot the other day, and had to get some lumber. Popped into the mask area, did not have any masks left. N98s were gone. There was a couple of the carbon filters left. How's it going, Mark? And then I saw these on sale, and so I figured I'd grab a couple. RZ masks, reusable filtration masks. They're pretty lightweight. They're actually pretty comfortable to wear, and you can get HEPA filters for it. Plus, you can also get the active carbon filters for it too, that go down to a pollution size of 0.1 microns, which is equivalent to N98 mask. This one says it's equivalent to the N99 mask, which is 99%. So, really push that idea. Having some supplies on hand is crucial. You don't want to be stuck out in the situation without any way to protect yourself. So, now here's one of the kind of example of the filters that they put in there. Once they go inside the filter itself, the breathing material kind of absorbs that. I don't know where that fell out of, but. So another thing with hand sanitizer, you don't want to overuse it. So when you're at home and you've decontaminated your house already, and your house is a good living area, you have good bacteria. That good bacteria your body's used to. You want to keep that around. So if you're have scrubbed your house down and you've killed all the bacteria in it, well, you've also made partial problem because your body requires some of that bacteria. So when you leave your house is when you want to use the hand sanitizer and not overdo it. I mean, if you're not making a lot of contact with populated areas, just wipe it on your hands, have the face mask, have some eye protection. This is only during the pandemic stage, so I mean, you don't have to go out there and start wearing masks right now. Here in Wisconsin, we've already had our first case of the coronavirus down in Dane County, which is about 2.5 hours from me. The guy flew in to the Madison location and went directly to the hospital. From the hospital, they put him on a watch program and sent him home. He sits at home and they have him monitored from there. They're not allowing people to get near his house or anything like that. So it could be a scary situation, because when you think about it, that one guy that flew in was on an airplane probably with a couple hundred people on it. Well, those couple hundred people have now, rebreathed the same atmosphere he's breathing. So I'm sure within the next couple of weeks, we're going to see an increase in numbers here in America. It just makes sense to me. I don't, think that it's going to be too scary yet. But it's good to have something just in case. So nothing to be panicking about, but there are cases in America. Total of 19 cases totally is what they've counted on World-O-Meter. How's everybody else doing tonight? No response. Good. Great. I'm glad you guys could make it. It's kind of last spur of the moment, or last bit of the night, so I wanted to kind of go through this new mask I found. And so here it is. You guys keep an eye on the news. I can guarantee you we're not going to see true numbers come from China yet. So I'm going to start producing more and more videos as far as going through different topics, different products that I find, even outside of the pandemic stuff. I want to kind of go over, some different techniques, and if anybody has any ideas or questions on things, just shoot me a message. And we'll just build kind of a weekly routine or a program of, going over a couple different items. I want this community to grow. Do I sell? No, this is just stuff I find out and about when I'm going down to the hardware store, or I'm going down to Lowe's or Home Depot. Hello from Montana. How are you? Doing good? So you want links for to buy stuff? You can just go onto Google and type in RZ masks, and then it'll take you to their website. Also, I would also look for having tarps in your kind of prep supplies. Tarps are a great way to kind of keep things organized in your vehicle. You can put a tarp anywhere. It folds down real nice, skinny, and there's 1,000 uses for it. You can make shelter. You can make drag things long distance with a tarp, especially in snow. Snow works really good with tarps. So, that's just, I'm going off topic here, just top of my head, trying to random things. Having a radio with the weather band is important. If something were to happen pandemic wise, they're going to spread it across the radio. If they're saying that something's going to get locked down, they're going to tell you. So it's something good to have. I have a couple different radios. This is my little cheapy one right here. Just the NOA radio. Takes a couple batteries, 2 AA's, and I can get the NOA band radio on here. I also got ham radios and a couple other items. Medical kits is always good to have. Just small kits. You don't have to be a surgeon to have a really nice kit, but they start to get spendy. I don't imagine that you're going to need to go out there and spend a ton of money on things. I'm just building my supply up from here to when I go out, I find special deals. Having writing utensils, important too, so that you can leave notes if you have to leave an area. So if you have family members that might come to your location, I'm a big fan of the Inkzillas. They write on any surface, pretty much. I've not found a surface that won't write on yet. But this pen works great on just about everything. Let's see. I need to get a little more structure at this. So if anybody's got any ideas to go through stuff, I definitely would like ideas. I'm a one-man army over here trying to come up with different products to kind of go through. If you want to look at kind of building up your supply, one person asked me not too long ago what's a good thing to kind of first start out working on. And my recommendation is building your 72-hour bob or bug out bag or bug in bag. It's just a supply of stuff that will supply you for 72 hours. Now, when you get into having families and stuff like that, that gets a little more complicated and a little more complicated because the amount of stuff that you have to acquire. I put together, thanks Thomas, and I put together different boxes. I try to find really durable materials that I can work with. I will go through one of my my 24-hour packs with you guys. If you just give me a second, I'll grab it. And so this is my 24-hour pack. I have it in a special case that's super durable. It literally could be dropped off back of a truck and I wouldn't have to worry about it. These are old military grade briefcases, as you can tell. They have multiple latches on it. I mean, these things are like built for be dropped out of aircraft basically and be fine. They're a really heavy duty fiberglass with aluminum shell. Takes a little bit to open, especially if you get it really crammed full of stuff. So that's the only way I have to record things right now is by my phone. So it might be a little jarry, but we're going to sit over here and kind of start going through some of this stuff. I got this really unique shovel in here, but I can basically cut wood with it, dig with it, etc. The reason I got something like that is in a vehicle, like I got a truck. If I get my truck stuck, I need a way to kind of dig it out. Like I said, this box is my 24 to 48 hour kit. So I got stuff in here that will sustain me for that amount of time. Now I don't have any food in here, but I can hunt, gather food at the moment for 48 hours. So I have a emergency blanket, stay warm. It's winter time up here in in the frozen tundra, so having that blanket is crucial. I have a backpack with camelback. I always keep a gallon of water around, or I have water hidden in my truck somewhere, at least 20 ounces, just in case of emergencies. Now this right here is a waterproof emergency vest that I keep. Another thing to help keep me warm in case I get stuck out in the cold. And this thing is, it compacts down pretty good. Made by Blackhawk, not to throw a title out there, but waterproof and really warm. Yes, and it kills zombies. That's what my my shovel's for, killing zombies. Hopefully I never see one, but that I could use it for that. Now, I'm a big fan of mag lights. These things are durable. They can be used for 1,000 different purposes. You could run it over with a truck and not worry about it. But the downfall, it takes big batteries. And those big batteries get spendy. And this one's already dead. So I gotta get new batteries. Thank God I pulled that out. So I got an emergency stove for cooking. These little stoves are pretty cool. They kind of fold open. If I didn't cram it shut so tight. Inside are these little squares. These are fuel squares. You take the little square and you put it on this little platform here, and you close it up like this. If you've never seen one of these before. Just like that. And on top you would put your little canteen. And that will help. The heat will lift up on that. Boil water with it to get fresh drinking water. And this one's made by Pyramid. So it's a good little stove to have, compact, doesn't take up a lot of space. I have waterproof pants. Having an extra set of clothes is really good to have, especially waterproof ones. You never know when you get into getting drenched or soaked. Set of binoculars, cheap. I'm not one of those type of guys that goes out there and spends $1,000 pair of binoculars that potentially could get broke or lost in an emergency situation. These right here are, if they disappear, they disappear. This will at least give me some optics out there so I can see a little distance as I'm kind of having to hike or see possibly what's coming at me. So having a set of binoculars is always good. I have glow-in-the-dark rope, which is this stuff is a lot of fun, but it's only got about a shelf life as far as the glow-in-the-dark side of things for about 6 months. After that, it no longer absorbs the ultraviolets, right, or the light, so it doesn't glow really long. I got little containers. They should have matches in them, which they do. These are waterproof. These are actually like musket, holds bullets for muskets. But I put waterproof strike anywhere matches. They're small, compact. I get about, looks like 8 matches inside these things. Which, that right there could be a lifesaver. Having a way to start a fire really could save your life. I have this little micro cup, folds out. I can put that onto that little stove that I have, and I can boil a little bit of water and then serve it later. Now I always keep a red rag. red rag can be used for 1,000 different things, cleaning purposes. I have a Strike Force fire starter. One thing you'll notice with me, I do a lot of redundancies. Having multiple ways to start fire is one of them. You never know when my matches might break, might fail, or lose them, or run out and not get a fire start. I have this as a backup. The other thing is having a redundancy and being able to make purified water or clean drinking water. Redundancies is a great thing when it comes to certain items. So the other thing I have is a journal. Be able to take notes out in the field when you're in an emergency situation is really good, because when you start to get hungry or when your adrenaline's pumping, you might not be able to remember everything. Be able to jot down notes on as far as how many days you've been out there or what you've seen is crucial. So you want to be able to remember certain things, or be able to take notes of where you've been, where you've hiked through, and when you get out in the thick, you kind of have to have that. So I always have a little journal for that. Now you can get waterproof field journals, but my backpack is waterproof. So this is inside my backpack. I hope it stays dry. I have a small little multi-tool that I can measure with. It clips right onto my backpack. Pretty nice little thing. It's got a little screwdriver, plain tip and Phillips tip. It's got a cutter and a scraper, a couple different size hex heads, and that can clip right on to my backpack. Having a knife sharpener is good to have, because when you're out using your knife, if you're cutting up game or just cut up trees, the knife will become dull. I haven't found too many knives that I can cut through trees and still stay sharp. So having a knife sharpener with you in your 24 to 48 hour bag is good. Having a knife. Myself, I'm a big fan of K-Bar, just because of their durability. And one thing that I do is I have the K-Bar. I can use this as a utility knife, cutting wires, cutting twine, trees, just about anything. It'll stay sharp for a good while. So I have this belt too. This is made by Blackhawk as well. It's a really heavy duty belt. I can use this for a variety of things, not just for going around my waist. If I have to drag a large animal, I can use this material to drag that animal, or for hanging up in trees. It's really nice and heavy duty, so I don't have to worry about it. I can put quite a bit of weight on this, hang it from a tree if I have to. Now I have an old Army shovel also, in case I need it. I have a candle lantern. The reason why I keep this in there is in a car, a small fire, small candle, if you get, say, a blizzard, you get knocked off the road, that little candle will produce enough heat to keep you alive. So I keep this little candle lantern in my bag in case I'm in my vehicle and I need it. Now, one thing that I did find that I put in that I haven't heard too many people use is having maps, hard maps. Now, I have a couple different maps that I go through. I have this in my 2019 Road Atlas. I keep that usually in my vehicle. You never know when your phone's not going to work. And so then you don't want to be, say, going down the road and have to get off track and your phone not work, and then you don't know where you are and you're starting to drive all over the place wasting fuel. Having the road map inside the car is a great idea. This right here is a waterproof topical map. It will hold your information right in there, waterproof. So if you are out in the field, you can put your area map in there, hike around inside your bag. So then I have a waterproof container. And inside the waterproof container, I got more redundancies. So like ways to start fire. You can pick up this case right here, roughly about $5 down at Walmart. I recommend it. They're really good to have. Inside this container, I have a emergency survival blanket, one of those space blankets. The reason I like these is because they're compact. I can put them inside a small area. The reflective side, I can signal with it. The other side, stay warm, of course. I have lighter, more redundancy on fire. Another redundancy on, of course, being able to mark things. This is a Milwaukee Inkzilla marker that has a nice kind of thick tip to it, so I can write down on walls, wood. If I have to give direction, I can use direction. Now, because it's winter time, I have roughly 4 hand warmers. And, well, technically 8. But hand warmers are great. If you get your feet really cold, you can throw these in your boots. You can put them inside your mittens. Just put them inside your pocket and put your hands in there, and it'll help keep you warm, so your body temperature stays up. You don't want your body temperature to drop, especially in the wintertime. It can do a variety of things. 1, make you sick. 2, potentially kill you. And 3, lower your ability to think straight. When you're in an emergency situation, the ability to think straight is crucial. You do not want to be making mistakes that could potentially cost you your life. So be able to prepare and get ahead of the curve before it hits you. One other thing I like to keep in my pack is a set of earplugs. Not just for, firearm loudness or etc., but you might be in a situation where you might be around some really loud sounds, and from my experience and my potential hearing loss I've already experienced, it's not fun. Loud noises are very damaging, and so having those earplugs can potentially help you out in the long term. So now, more fire redundancy. I have a fire starter aviation survival spark kit. What's inside this? It's spark light. What's inside is basically cotton, a fire wick, if I can get it out, some instruction manual on how to light cotton, basically. These little fire starters. I picked these up at the Army surplus store. Pretty cheap. I think it was like $1, but it's a good little thing to have as far as having a little tinder mix. I picked this up right here. More redundancy, more fire stuff. Apparently, I think that fire is crucial to be able to survive. So that's what separates us from the animals, is the ability to make fire. This is a waterproof container. Has a strike side on one side. Comes with a pile of big matches. Also a tinder kit on one side, which is cotton. Strike that up, you have a good fire going in no time. I also have these solid fuel sticks. Now, once these things start burning, they burn pretty good, and they burn pretty slow. So you'd be able to, in wet conditions, be able to start fire with these fuel sticks. These are old. I haven't used one in a long time. I haven't had to. Used one last year's camping just to see if they still work, which they do. The shelf life is quite a few years on these older ones. And so, yeah, having redundancy on mail that would make fire in your 24-hour to 48-hour kit is pretty crucial. Some of these things I recommend. Some of it's just my personal taste. Like having a multi-tool, that is pretty good to have as far as, you know, being able to change things out. I have multiple forms of knives in here, different tool sets. This have bigger screwdrivers, lighters, markers. Here's an interesting one that I have. This takes battery power, but it's a microscope. When dealing with certain types of plants, you can actually see when the pupil the plant's about to be harvested, and you can actually see it explode with these things. You can see all sorts of weird stuff, especially like I've gotten like nicks and not nicks, but like a sliver in my finger, and to get some of the fibers out, I've used this to kind of see where the fibers are and pull it out. Especially when you deal with fiberglass. Fiberglass is horrible slivers. But yeah, that's pretty much my 24-hour to 48-hour kit. You know, some of you guys probably would want some food, canned food maybe in your pack, something with some protein. But I'm confident in my ability to hunt and trap and fish. So if I'm out in having a, say, emergency situation, my truck's off in the middle of nowhere, or I'm out hunting in the fall and I get stuck out in the wilderness somehow, I have faith in my ability to hunt that animal and harvest it. So, I mean, that's something you got to be comfortable with yourself, or otherwise just have some food with you. I actually have more weight in here than I like. If you put your pack together and notice that it's a little heavy, then you probably want to back down a little bit. What I usually do when I practice a lot of my bug out or my survival stuff is I don't fill my backpack up with everything in this. The reason why I have the box and the bag is so that I can leave some of the material in the box. Either leave it with the truck or leave it buried out in the field somewhere. Then I can come back and I have a small surplus of stuff that I can recirculate back on. But having that is very, very awesome. I got other stuff in there. You can feel it. Oh, here's one thing I have too. It's just this little, I don't even know what you call it. It's kind of like a nylon band. I've actually drug an elk out of the woods with this. And I hooked it on with this carabiner and drug it out with some 555 paracord. Sorry, my camera here, I'm still trying to get used to it. There we go. It's all higher. So having something strong to be able to drag an item with, I always have that in there. Let's see what I left in my bag here. I'm kind of interested to see. Oh, waterproof ID badges. So this thing, you put your credit cards in, your driver's license, etc. You can hang it around your neck, or you put it in your bag. I don't like to leave my ID in my wallet per se, especially when I'm out hunting and etc. Because if I fall into a river or fall into a water source or something, all the stuff in my wallet gets wet. I usually take that wallet and I put it in my waterproof bag. This will allow me to have my ID on me in case something happens and somebody has to find me. Oh yeah, my little fork. This is made by Fuel, and it just folds up into this little thing. It's just a little nice little cute little fork. And then they also have this nice little spoon. Folds out. How are you, Sherry? And welcome, Brad. I have a red hand flare, MK8. Being able to signal your location is really good, especially if in an emergency situation when you've gotten hurt. See what else I got in here. I got this compass. This is my lucky compass. It's really old, probably made back in the 70s or so. But it's my lucky compass, so I carry it with me everywhere. And I think that's all I got in my bag. Alright, so I carry my whole pouch here, my 24 to 48 hour pouch in the case and everything. Probably all together weighs probably close to 50 pounds. But like I said, what I do is I pack part of it in the bag and then I leave part of it in the case. And the reason for that is so that I can either bury the case and circle back to it later, or I can leave it in my truck and circle back to it later. Because if you run out of fuel and you're out in the middle of nowhere or etc., you circle the area or create a perimeter that you're watching over until you get help or you make it a certain distance. Everybody have fun? This is my little tiny canteen. What I used to have in it was the tablets for purifying water. Now it's empty. I gotta get more. So a quick review. Having this bag, usually good idea is to have it in your vehicle. So when you're out and about, something happens, you have a way to survive the situation. Everything from snowmageddon, say it's a big blizzard, you get snowed into your car, or you go off the road and you end up getting snowed in, you at least have this stuff, you can survive. Like I said, you might want to keep like a can of food in there, a little bit of water, at least 20 ounces. 20 ounces will get you, at least somewhere safe, or you can use it to stay hydrated for a short bit. Some people carry up to a gallon, but in the wintertime it's really hard because things freeze. So having, the way to make fire, to be able to melt snow or melt other things, that will give you the opportunity to be able to do that. Yeah, it's just amazing what some of the stuff you find at garage stores or people give you. This right here was donated by my cousin. He thought it'd be really cool to kind of hang it up in my, I guess what he would call the man cave. But personally, I saw it and I was like, you know what? I could use this for cutting wood to shovel an emergency situation. And it fits really nice inside my military briefcase here. And if anybody knows where you can get these, I'd be kind of interested. They're really hard to find. I've got a couple, but that's about it. So what do you guys think? Is that fun? So here's the new mask. This, like I said earlier, filters 99.9% of all dust, air, particles, and pollution size of 0.1 micron or greater. The equivalent to a N99 mask. The filter lifespan on this is 20 to 30 hours of continuous use in heavy dust exposure, like grain elevators, grain bins, off-road motorsports, construction and demolition, and a other use, 50 to 60 hours of continuous use when exposed to mild particles like allergens, pollution, fumes, organic chemicals, odors, and etc. And I don't know, these are a little more comfortable than those N98 masks. That's all I can say. And, you know, if you're traveling, it does come with a cute little zip-up bag. So you can put your mask in here, throw it in the glove box of your vehicle, and then have a mask on the go. Not really sure what that little device there would do for, but you can order replacement filters. Some off-brand companies, not RZ themselves, make replacement masks for these, and you can get HEPA filter masks, which I believe is a little better or slightly worse. I'll have to look into it. So we got moved into our new location here, and so hopefully I'll be able to do more videos, kind of get a better layout of things and not be running on the fly. And maybe script it a little more instead of kind of just running off and thinking what's on the top of my head. Oh, Matt just bought one. Nice. Have you tried it on, fitted it on yet? Or did you buy it online? Yeah, what's kind of cool is they come in different colors too. So like you get designs, patterns, stuff like that. So really, you know, if this is something you really want to put in your bag, or get a more better mask than just an N95 mask, I would definitely look into these. You can get the replacement 3 filters in HEPA plus, I think what they call active carbon, for roughly, I think 3 for $12, which that would give you quite a few trips out and about in public in a pandemic situation. Now, if you get too crazy, you can just go ahead and get the whole face mask and, you know, walk that around Walmart or something and see how people feel. But I'm really hoping that this whole... Oh, great. Yeah. The other thing I didn't say was these things are sized. So when you buy them, if you do buy them, make sure you get the one that's sized for you. I got 2 of these, one for me, one for my wife. And, you know, I tried the XL on. It definitely fits me better because I have a big head. And my wife has got a smaller one. And so, you know, the other thing you got to think of too is your kids, and that's one thing I've been, you know, kind of struggling with. I see on Amazon that you can get some kids mask, but like I said earlier in the video, try your best in a pandemic situation to minimize the amount you're going out of your house. And if you are going out of your house, make sure that it's just one of you versus the whole group. And then limit how much you're actually tracking back into your house. Being able to create a kind of zone outside your house would be preferable. If you got a garage, you can make a decontamination zone, and that's something I'm going to go over on a different video. I have a really good idea. What I'm going to use is one of those camping showers, the camping shower tents that pop up. You can, you know, put a little shower thing in there. And then I'm going to go over how to properly take off your gloves, because you're going to want to get, if we get into a pandemic, you'll want to make sure you got gloves. You want to make sure that you have, clothes that you're going to wear out in public, and then you also want goggles, your face mask, and etc. So then we'll show how to kind of break that down, how to take it off properly without contaminating yourself or people around you. And so, kind of look forward to that next video. If anybody's got any ideas, please share with the group. Or if you find good deals online, where to buy some of this stuff, really kind of, this is what the group's about, is to help one another either with figuring out how to do something or how to affordably be prepared. I know many of you guys out there like me are not wanting to drop thousands of dollars down to be able to survive. Now, you have to ask yourself sometimes, is it the $1,000 or worth my life? And of course, it's always worth your life. You have to go with your life is important, your life is valuable. But you have to be able to do this on a budget. You can't go out there and risk your household savings on things that could be, a what if. So I don't want people going out there and just like dropping thousands of dollars on stuff and never have to use it. It's good to have it if you can afford it, but don't, just get crazy on it and go out there and buy 130 gallons of water because you might need it. That's the other thing I'm going to go over. Water, guys, it's very important to have water that is purified on hand in a pandemic situation. Keeping pure water and staying hydrated is so highly important. Once you get, even if you get influenza, influenza here in America is taking out 10,000 people this year. So, and it's got a higher number as far as the coronavirus. The coronavirus we don't know much about because it's, over in China, and we're getting only a little bit of detail trickled down to us, but it's not, I don't know where I was going with this, sorry, it's getting late. Water, staying hydrated, that's what I was going with it. If you get sick, even with the influenza or just a standard cold, staying hydrated is highly beneficial. I don't think I have to explain it too often much. If anybody that's ever played sports knows that if you exert all that water out of your system by sweating, you're going to get weaker. So staying hydrated helps keep your body's immune system up. And then we're also going to kind of go over some things later on how to boost your immune system in times of need. So this is all I got for tonight. I'm so glad you guys got to stop by and watch and kind of go through my pack with me. And reach out to me if you have any good ideas or if you want me to cover certain topics. I do want to start, kind of leaning towards maybe reading some news at the beginning. And then kind of basing the program off from that news as far as like the pandemic's concerned, or if there's a survival situation and what to do, and etc., stuff like that. Always keeping a clear mind is always important in emergency situations. Training yourself to be able to handle the situation ahead of time is crucial and potentially saves lives. So knowledge is power when it comes to that. Well, thanks again, guys.